It's hard to imagine what the community of Sheridan would be like without the many varied contributions of Jack Pelissier. His commitment to the vitality of downtown, to youth and education, to businesses and professional circles, and to his own family and friends have made him a loved and admired figure by so many and enhanced the community culture which we all get to enjoy. Jack was born in Denver, Colorado on April of 1937 to Jack and Helen Pelissier. His father was a special agent with the FBI, and because of this, their family lived all over the United States, including Philadelphia, Phoenix, New York, Denver, Detroit, and finally settled in Bighorn in 1951. But along the way, he and his siblings got to do all the normal kid things, went to many different schools, and participated in sports. His dad was a horseman and started early with his kids, instilling a love of horses. In fact, Jack's first job was the summer after 5th grade in a city park where he led ponies around a track with children on board. They also made many trips to the Eaton's ranch. Jack's lineage on his father's side stems from the Eaton family, going back several generations, and visits there were filled with horseback riding and playing with their cousins. By the time they moved to the Sheridan area, Jack was going into his freshman year, and he and his brother and sister attended Bighorn School. He was involved in many sports, but football was his favorite. From the time they arrived, Jack spent every summer working at Eaton's ranch. It was a natural fit for him, and his abilities as a cowboy were evident. His main duty was to train horses, but he also enjoyed jumping, team roping, rodeos, packing in the mountains, and could always pick the winning horses in a race. Jack graduated from high school in 1955 and went on to the University of Wyoming. Then, in 1957, a Missouri debutante named Sophie Shepley visited Eaton's ranch. Though the two were at first an unlikely pair, the city girl and the cowboy began a 5-year long-distance courtship. In the meantime, Jack continued at UW, where he was president of the rodeo team and completed a degree in agriculture in 1959. He then went to officer candidate school for the Marine Corps. He was commissioned as second lieutenant and served 3.5 years on active duty and 7 years in the reserve. While still in the military, he and Sophie wed in 1962 in St. Louis. The Shepleys were a prominent family, so the wedding was kind of a big deal. It was country folks meeting city elegance and a beautiful day all around. Their life together began in San Diego, California, where Jack was stationed at the time. When he completed his active duty obligation, he and Sophie promptly moved to Sheridan. Jack began as an insurance adjuster with the Crandall Insurance Agency and later became a partner with a new name as the Gailey Pelissier Agency. Eventually, it became BHJ Incorporated and continued on in real estate and insurance. Many years later, Jack fully purchased the real estate division of BHJ, which included the Century 21 franchise. In 2005, Jack sold Century 21 BHJ to Bruce Garber and stayed on as a real estate agent for several more years. Together with their many quality realtors, earned many prestigious awards and enjoyed individual as well as group successes. This company is still operated out of the historic Keenan building that Jack owned from 1978 to 2014. Jack, always wanting to have a positive impact on the community, gave of his time and efforts in many ways and encouraged his colleagues to do the same. Many beloved staff members have come and gone during his tenure there, all taking part in the camaraderie and positive atmosphere he brings with him wherever he goes. He officially retired in 2014, but remains in the building as an ambassador of BHJ, as the building manager, and continues his duties on the board of directors for the Watt Foundation and the Bryan Foundation. He has served on several other boards and committees over the years as well, including Wyoming Real Estate Commission, the Salvation Army Advisory Board, the Sheridan College Board, the First Interstate Bank Board, the Sheridan Motor Incorporated Board, the Wyoming State Board of Realtors, the Wyoming State Insurance Board, the Brinton Foundation, the YMCA, and as a founding board member of the Center for a Vital Community. But enough of his business and entrepreneurial accolades. What about his family life? Let's go back to 1962. It wasn't long until children arrived. First Susie, then 2 boys, Jay and Pete. The kids grew up on horseback and spent lots of time camping and fishing in the mountains. Eventually, Jack and Sophie bought a cabin at Teepee Ranch, and from then on, nearly every weekend of every summer was spent there. This area was also positively impacted by Jack's leadership and foresight. He and a couple business partners developed it into the recreational area that it is today. The family had many memorable vacations in other places like La Jolla, Palm Springs, Bermuda, and Denver, of course to see the Broncos play at least once a year. They were a sports-crazy family. Volleyball, track, football, along with 4-H and theater, their kids were in every activity possible, and Jack never missed one of his kids' events. During his kids' high school years, he was known as the voice of the Bighorn Rams, commentating countless football games. Their kids were also involved in horse showing and jumping, which took them down the road for competitions. Even Sophie and Jack competed, and the family's shared success is still memorialized in the old barn. As parents, they faithfully attended and supported their kids' activities, and managed to be supportive of their children's varied interests, without lofty expectations. Jack supported Sophie's endeavors as well. She loved theater and the arts, so the two of them generously supported the renovation of the WYO Theater and brought in quality entertainment for many years. A new era began as their kids graduated college, enjoyed their own successful ventures, and grew families of their own. Cactus and Toots, as they are known by their 4 grandkids, Bennett, Lulu, Jack, and Will, carry on the tradition of living life to the fullest, no matter what age. They have shared their love of the mountains, of fishing and horses, and of teepee. Sadly, though, his beloved Sophie passed away 3.5 years ago, just 2 months shy of their 50th anniversary. Jack continues to pour his life into his grandchildren, doing his best to pass on a love of sports and the way of the West. But don't think this old cowboy is getting soft. Adventure is still his middle name. On his 65th birthday, his son Pete took him skydiving. And now, at 79, he still loves roller coasters and bungee jumping. He is spending this year doing some world traveling to Fiji, Bermuda, and Costa Rica. Jack says he's never had a bad day, and we think you can see why. There's never been a dull moment. What do his family and friends say about him? A common theme you will find is that Jack enjoys being of service and needs no recognition. He didn't even tell his family about the Keystone Award he would be receiving. They read about it in the newspaper. Many of Jack's acts of service have remained unknown. Maybe you have been the beneficiary of one of his random and anonymous acts of kindness. Here in Sheridan, we may never know the full reach of Jack's generosity towards individuals and the community as a whole. It's obvious he lived by his conviction to work hard, smile, use manners, and never do anything to compromise your integrity. And at 8 a.m. every weekday morning, you will find Jack in his office at the corner of Works and Main, in the same building where he has devoted 38 years of his life to the community around him. He continues to give of his time and resources to the people around him, to the boards that he serves on, and to his beloved children and grandchildren. His is truly a full and blessed life that has in turn blessed others.
I felt that the community was certainly good to me, business was very good to me, and that I should at least do something to try to help somebody out and hopefully make their life a little bit better. And it suited me and my family to an absolute T, and I would not trade one moment of being in Sheridan, Wyoming for the past 60-some years for anything that I've ever done.